Well, on to the details now. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken visited an aid inspection point in Israel during his 7th visit to Israel since October 7th attack. The U.S. Secretary of State, along with Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, visited the Kerem Shalom aid crossing and got the first up-close view of the Gaza Strip. Later, talking to media, Blinken said that progress on improving humanitarian access to Gaza was real, but it needed to be accelerated.
The progress is real, but given the need, given the immense need in Gaza, it needs to be accelerated, it needs to be sustained. And as we focus on all of the necessary inputs, the number of trucks that are moving, what matters the most is the impact.
Blinken also told reporters that Israel has made important compromises over a proposal for a deal that would see hostages released in exchange for a ceasefire, but it was up to Hamas to take that deal.
Israel has made very important compromises in the proposal that's on the table, demonstrating its desire and willingness to get this agreement and get it done. Now, as we've been saying, it's on Hamas. Hamas has to decide whether it will take this deal and actually advance the situation for the people that it purports to care about in Gaza. There is no time for delay. There's no time for further haggling. The deal is there. They should take it.
Well, reiterating U.S. stand on Rafah, the U.S. Secretary of State said that Washington will not support such an offensive.
On Rafah itself, look, our position is clear. It hasn't changed. It won't change. We will not support a major military operation in Rafah absent an effective plan to make sure that civilians are not harmed. And no, we've not seen such a plan.
The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Wednesday also made a brief stop at Kibbutz Nir Oz in southern Israel, where Hamas terrorists attacked on October 7, killing dozens of residents and kidnapping others. During his visit, accompanied by Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, Blinken went to the heavily damaged home of an American-Israeli family, all of whom, including 5-year-old twins, were killed in the assault. The conflict began when Hamas terrorists attacked Israel on October 7th last year, killing 1,200 people and abducting over 250 others. Also, U.S. President Joe Biden's administration faced renewed pressure on Wednesday from his fellow Democrats to influence Israel not to launch a full-scale military operation in Rafah. 57 of the 212 Democrats in the House of Representatives signed a letter calling on the administration to take every possible measure to dissuade Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government from military operation in the city near the Egyptian border. In the letter, Democrats urged Biden to invoke existing law and policy to immediately withhold a certain offensive military aid to the Israeli government, including aid sourced from legislation already signed into law, in order to preempt a full-scale operation on Rafah. An Israeli military released a video on Wednesday showing 8 trucks in southern Israel driving through the Erez crossing point into the northern Gaza. Israel reopened the Erez crossing into Gaza on Wednesday following U.S. demands to do more to address the growing humanitarian crisis in the enclave. The Erez crossing was destroyed during the Hamas attacks on October 7th and then remained closed. Israel announced it would reopen the crossing last month, a few days after Israeli airstrikes killed humanitarian workers delivering food aid in Gaza. The Israeli government reopened the additional crossing point on the same day that U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, where he urged more aid deliveries into the territory. Meanwhile, India has once again reiterated its commitment to support a two-state solution where the Palestinian people are able to live freely in an independent country with due regard to the security needs of Israel. Delivering an address at the United Nations General Assembly meeting on Gaza, India's permanent representative to the United Nations, Ruchira Kamboj, said that India's position on the conflict has been clear and has been stated on several occasions.
The ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas has led to a large-scale loss of civilian lives, especially women and children, and a humanitarian crisis which is simply unacceptable. We have strongly condemned the deaths of civilians in the conflict. Only a two-state solution achieved through direct and meaningful negotiations between both sides on final status issues will deliver an enduring peace. India is committed to supporting a two-state solution where the Palestinian people are able to live freely in an independent country within secure borders with due regard to the security needs of Israel.
And Colombia's President Gustavo Petro on Wednesday announced that the South American nation will cut its diplomatic ties with Israel. During the International Workers' Day annual march, the Colombian president said that he will break diplomatic relations with Israel over its actions in Gaza. Israel's Foreign Minister, Israel Katz, condemned Colombia's announcement and accused President Petro of rewarding Hamas, saying he was siding with the most despicable monsters known to humanity. Katz, however, said the relations between both countries would remain warm despite the president's actions.